This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Hey, all of it, Cholas, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you had been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3528. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. All right, here we go. A library in Long Island has to apologize after handing out pornographic comic books to kids. Good times. Meanwhile, a woman hands a stranger a bottle of water, so he whips out his pig. Yakima man drives his car into a river as his radiator needed to be filled. When you chain yourself to the top of a car for a joyride, there's a chance you might be killed. And in Scotland, protesters seize an ancient castle, demand turkey leg as ransom. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, say you're at the beach, and thanks to a riptide, your entire family of 4 starts drowning. Now, sadly, there are no lifeguards, so your only hope is the assistance of a Good Samaritan. Well, that was the case for a Canadian family, and as it turns out, the Good Samaritan that came to the rescue was a firefighter in training. Works to their benefit. In Tennessee, a guy who crashed his car deep in the woods on a secluded highway. Now, lucky for him, there was at least one witness. Even luckier for him, the witness was a nurse at the local hospital. Guy ended up being okay. And then there's the grocery store in Australia, all right? A woman is browsing the spice aisle when a 10-foot-long diamond python emerged from the shelf. Because Australia. Now, did the woman freak out like most of us would? No, she did not. Because in a statistical improbability, that same woman happened to be a trained snake catcher. Now, sometimes, albeit not very often, the perfect person is in the perfect place for the situation. Other times, well, not so much. A guy in Oregon, he went to take his dog out for a walk. Basically, he opened his front door and was immediately punched in the face by a bear. Timing, as they say, is everything. And that's at the heart of today's question. Today, we want to know, when were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man.
Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro.
Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case.
Dude, no way.
You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
Back to the conversation. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, Magellan's and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,528. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Yeah. Steve, I don't know how you do it, but each and every week, you find 3 really awful stories in the news.
It takes a lot of effort, man. You got to do a whole lot of looking to find bad news. A lot of
research on that. Either way, you bring us 3 stories. All of them suck. It's up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. How are we looking on this week's Who Sucks Less?
I want to say everyone's in a bit of a hairy situation.
A hairy situation?
A hairy situation.
Like hairy like me?
Maybe. Look, all of these are unnecessary. All of them made me chuckle, but none of these things needed to happen. But you'll find a common thread with all 3 stories.
Okay. All right, Who Sucks Less coming up. And once again, join us. More Men's Room coming up at 6 o'clock. Men's Room Happy Hour. That is exclusively on the Odyssey app. Just search for the Men's Room. Once you download the Odyssey app, you can do that for free in the App Store and Google Play. Favorite the Happy Hour in your app and listen to us on Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock. There's more Men's Room coming up. Episode number 21, if I'm not mistaken.
You might be. I have no idea.
Yeah, we've done this 21 episodes. So it's,
is that right?
It's a good time. Yeah, we get to do a lot more than we can do on the air.
Sure.
Things that we'd like to talk about. And we got a little sidetracked yesterday, but either way, we've got the return of the effing news and Man vs. Beast coming up.
You doing okay?
Today on the Men's Room Happy Hour. Yeah.
Right.
I feel much better. I feel like the weight has been lifted off my shoulder.
It felt like it was a release yesterday.
It was. And I didn't have to pay like $175 for that half hour.
That's right.
It was cheap. I could do it at work. They paid me.
For the same result.
Exactly.
Well, it helps that Mike, Thrill, and I are in your network.
Yes, it does. Thank God.
After a quick review.
$153 on the physical.
I guess I had extra tests. Jesus.
Yeah, you must have. Mine wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's not the worst in the world. I thought they were going to ding me for more than that.
Our dental's decent.
Yeah. I
got another checkup coming up in 2 weeks. I'm worried.
I think I have the dental. I think I got the dental. I don't have the vision. That's what I don't have.
Oh, the vision's a joke.
Because I couldn't find anybody who carried that insurance in our area.
Honest to God, years ago, Miles was on the phone. It was all morning, all right? So he's trying to get an eye exam or whatever it was. But anyway, they offer insurance here. You take advantage of it. But it's all separate. So there's medical, there's dental, there's vision. So on his 7th phone call, because everyone was like, no, we don't take whatever the hell it is we had, right? On the 7th phone call, I physically hear the lady laughing through your phone because basically she said, who's your insurance provider?
No, we don't carry them. Are you kidding me?
She laughed.
Yeah. And I'm like,
why do we have this?
I pay them every month.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing.
It's not supposed to be funny.
Well, that's why we all go to the same doctor's office.
Mm-hmm. Our question today, when were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time?
Wave.
Hey, Dr.
Yeah. Let's start where all weird things begin, and it's not Florida. We'll head on down to Australia. Helena Aldi was browsing the spice aisle of the Australian supermarket when she came face to face with a huge snake. The head of a 10-foot-long, non-venomous diamond python emerged through a space in the shelf at the Woolworths, just outside of Sydney. I was in the spice aisle, just looking for something to put on my chicken that night, so I didn't initially see it because it was curled up way back behind the little jars of spices. I kind of turned to my right, and then that's when it poked its head out. Coincidentally, Aldi is a trained snake catcher.
What are the odds of that?
The snake's head came to within 8 inches of her own. Now, keep in mind, yes, it is non-venomous. That's because it is a restricting snake.
Right.
So it's not that it can't kill you when it's 10 feet long. It's just that if it bites you, you're not going to die of the poison from the venom.
That'll slowly suffocate you.
It could definitely get around your neck and choke you to death.
Yeah.
Thing's 10 feet long.
Right,
You got to be a big fat-ass neck if it can't.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I have a background in snakes, so I was pretty calm about it. It definitely shocked me a little bit because I wasn't expecting it, she added. Aldi said she used her phone to video the snake as it extended its body from the shelf into the aisle before reporting it to the supermarket staff. I said, look, I'll go get my snake bag. She had it on her. I think they thought I was a little bit crazy, to be honest. I don't think they knew what to say when I said, hey, there's a 10-foot python in your aisle. By the way, I can take care of this. This is what I do for a living.
I'm like, go do that.
So she retrieved the snake catching bag from her home, caught the snake, which had to be then retreated back into the shelf. It had gone back by the time she got back. She then released it into the nearby woods. It's unclear how or when the snake entered the supermarket. She was trained to catch venomous snakes when she was a volunteer working for the Sydney Wildlife Rescue Organization several years ago. They suspected the snake was a male, possibly looking for a mate. It is mating season.
Yeah, you know them girl snakes like to hang out with the spices.
For the diamond python, yes. Now let's see here. We head to Utah.
By the way,
one.
quick side note. You work at a grocery store. Maybe you stock shelves. Maybe you're the cashier. Hell, maybe you're the manager, right? Someone says, hey, you guys got a problem. And you're expecting a cleanup, maybe shoplifting. And someone says, there's a 10-foot-long snake. Who do they page? Say she's not a trained snake. I mean, do I go to this guy in meats hey,
look, there's
Bob, we got a 10-foot constricting snake. I'd be like, why are you even telling me this? Because I'm not going to do anything about that.
I guarantee you there's a person in Seattle right now who will go out, and if you've got something crazy going on, it's their job to wrangle the damn thing.
Sure.
I don't know.
But I'd be like, call them.
But somebody in the store is going to get paged. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to be the stock boy.
Ted,
right?
Yeah. There's an issue in aisle 5. Could you get the slippery when wet signs? Oh, and maybe a machete.
Sure.
I also think, too, because it's Australia, maybe they didn't freak out as much. Like, if you're in the north, like California, if you said, hey, there's a bear in aisle 6.
You're getting the hell out anyway.
Well, you're still going to freak out, but at least it's not as unexpected.
No, look, I hear what you're saying. Like, it's Australia, so yeah, if a place is going to have a giant snake, that's the place. But I don't think that brings anyone comfort. I mean, like you said, we're in Northern California. We're at, I don't know, Walmart, and a freaking bear rolls in. I mean, I still don't know. Like, yes, we are familiar with bears. People sometimes interact, but to me, it wouldn't matter what you said it is at that point.
I go to the zoo theory, where they always have that thing, come see the world's most dangerous animal. And you look at it, it's a mirror.
Right.
And you're looking at yourself. I think the thing that you need to worry about in all these situations, more than anything, is just regular people. They had to shut down the damn Fred Meyer this morning in Burien because someone lost their mind. So, I mean, I think more than anything, it's people. It's not animals you need to worry about.
I don't sweat people.
Right, but
I sweat wild animals.
People fight each other for sport, right?
Yeah.
We can go to a boxing gym and train right now, but I can't walk in there and fight a bear.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you maybe could in Russia.
I don't know. If I see a bear in Walmart, man, I'm going to get snacks and maybe go to the gun aisle.
You're still going to grab snacks first?
For him, to distract the bear.
Oh, I was like, damn.
No, I'm not worried about getting snacks.
Maybe go to the
honey. Grabbing snacks.
Go to the honey aisle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bear. There's got to be a way we can distract them.
Just throw it at the bear and you're good to go.
Oh, you like berries?
All right, we move on to Utah. A zoo handler who was about to feed an alligator at a Utah petting zoo is probably glad she was surrounded by exactly the guests who were there at the time. The gator lunged at her and chomped down on her arm and thrashed her around. One of the zoo guests quickly rushed in to help. One guest tried to grab the handler, then got in the enclosure and basically got on the gator's back.
Yeah, Steve Irwin did, basically.
And held him down. Eventually, she was able to get her arm out of the animal's mouth. Now, this is after like 2, 3, 4 minutes. I mean, it was a while with this guy on the alligator's back. Another guest pulled her to safety. A third guest, who has a nursing background, then started first aid. The man who was holding the gator down, though, he was able to jump off of him and get out of the enclosure before the gator could turn around to attack, with a handler talking him through what to do. These gentlemen could have stayed in the safety zone, as most of us would, but instead jumped into the situation on their own volition and helped secure the alligator. Their help, combined with the training of our staff member, probably saved her life and her limbs at the very minimum. Handler is recovering. She's doing well after undergoing surgery. The zoo told ABC News she was feeding the gator at the time, a routine duty when the animal got a little, quote, extra spunky.
There's two things about that video. One, I know so the Good Samaritan jumps in there to help her out. Meanwhile, keep in mind, it's a bunch of kids that are surrounding this enclosure watching. Like Ted pointed out, no one really ushered the kids away. You know, they're all just fascinating. And it is fascinating, I get it. But then this dude jumps in. They managed to pull the woman out of there, but I'm like, now it's just you and the gator, and the one person who's trained to deal with him is bleeding profusely out there. Like, no one really rushed in to help him. And then also, you notice none of her co-workers. Again, these are people trained to deal with animals. None of them helped her. It was the people watching this go down. And also, quick side note, Utah, if you're listening, if you open a thing called a petting zoo, maybe don't include gators.
So there are people who spring into action, people who do good, people who help each other people, but there's other ways that we could look at this question as well. And I know 2 stories, Steve, from you, where this plays into it. When were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time? You tell the story of being in a bar in rural Pennsylvania.
That is correct, yes.
All right. I don't know how you wandered in there. I don't know if you were at the girlfriend wedding, whatever the deal was back in the day.
The chick I was dating.
Yeah, but you walked in, and it sounds to me, based on the story, that you were the first black person that anyone had ever seen in that town.
Alive. That was more of the sense I got, man. But we rolled into the bar, and I mean, it just instantly goes, hush. So it's like, oh, my God, right? But, you know, whatever, man. I'm just going to order my beer. And the guy even kind of cracks the joke. They're from around here. I'm like, what gave it away? But I order my beer, and so now they ask, where are you from? And again, no one's talking. Everyone's staring at me, and I don't know these guys, but clearly they all know each other. But I'm not piecing anything together, so I'm just like, oh, I live in Baltimore. You like baseball? Like, sure. Turns out that all of the guys in there were like Bricklayers Union, whatever, and they were the guys that did all of the brick on Oriole Park at Camden Yard. And the only thing on Oriole Park at Camden Yard is brick. The only thing on the sidewalk around Oriole Park at Camden Yard is brick. So now they were celebrating the fact that I was in there. And, of course, I'm playing up what a wonderful job they did. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's the best-looking stadium in all of baseball. It's fine. I'm not a big brick guy, but still, I'm not going to tell them that. You know, Seattle's looks better. I mean, I'm not going to say anything like that.
But I think it works for the town, because Baltimore is an older town. It's a historical town. There's a lot of brick. So as far as looking like something that, even though it's a newer stadium.
That's why you don't need it. The entire city is made of brick. You don't need to make another thing out of brick. We get it. Everything's... Sorry, I was cussing.
T-Mobile has amazing sight lines, but I'm with Miles. I think Camden Yards looks beautiful. One of the best parks in the league.
Inside. Absolutely. Inside, without a doubt. Outside, I'm just kind of... Maybe I'm just tired of bricks. I don't know. But either way...
Sounds like you're tired of bricks.
Man, I am. You know what I mean? Just everything there is brick.
Well,
I'm like, why do you build everything out of goddamn brick? There's brick everywhere. Anyway, it just turns out those guys were that Bricklayers Union. And the stadium at that point was maybe 2 years old, so it was still...
Oh, so it was fresh.
Oh, dude, yeah, it was a fresh achievement, and it was still kind of the pinnacle of the new baseball stadium world. And I'm like, if these guys had any other job, I'm not talking to you right now. Like, that was a real definitive sense. And even they seem to have the sense of, look, you're from Baltimore. I'm thinking, yep, we all agree.
And then there was a time that you checked into the hotel in Ohio.
Montpelier, Ohio.
And they were having a KKK rally, but you did not know that.
I did not know that. It's just late night. I was on my way to Chicago, but it's like, I'm too tired to keep driving. We have got to pull over. We have got to get some sleep. So you just see motel. And there's nothing else around. So I pull in, and it's this Indian dude behind the counter. When I walked in, like... He looked mildly terrified, so I just figure he's freaking out because of me. I don't know. And I'm like, dude, do you have a room? He's like, I do, but you don't want to. I said, dude, listen to me. I'm so... He's like, sir, you do not want this room. I'm like, I do want the room. I need to lay down. He said, there's a Klan rally in town. Don't care. They're staying here. I'm like, ooh, yeah, okay. Well, this is a little more difficult. So I just said, look, I swear to God, I have to get some sleep. Just, do you have any wake-up calls for these cats tomorrow? He says, yeah. I was like, okay, whatever your earliest wake-up call me an hour before that. I will pack the F up, get the hell out of here. No one's the wiser. Now, all that said, I did not sleep well that night. Because I realized every room around, it was only 2 levels tall, but on either side of me, directly above me, everywhere around me, Klan. And here's my black ass laying in this bed like, I thought I was tired, but now I'm just wide awake staring at the ceiling.
And at one point in time, and I think we've told the story on the Greatest Story Never Told podcast, but we actually had the Grand Wizard of the area of the KKK on our show, and the KKK was holding like a parade in York, Pennsylvania or something. Mm-hmm. But he didn't know that you were black, and so you were basically just asking questions like, do you have balloons for the kids? Do you have balloon
be face painting?
Yeah. Going to be bouncy houses. Can I bring the whole family? Oh, yeah, bring them on down. By the time we got done with the interview, though, it was clear he was really more anti-Semitic than it seemed to me like that he was more anti-black. In a
honest to God.
Yeah. So I'm wondering with the Indian guy, like, you know what I mean? Like, where does he fit into all this? Like, is he like does he not know where he stands?
Yeah, it's the Klan. I'm sure they hate him.
I'm sure they hate him, but he provided the service they needed.
Okay.
Like, he's got rooms, so, maybe we'll beat your ass later, but for right now, here's my, I was like $24 a night or something like that. I mean, there's not an upscale joint, but, like I said, he didn't seem comfortable when I walked in, but just, he'll live to talk another day.
Oh man, you are in the wrong town. When were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time? 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
Our question, when were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Tommy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
Okay, I'll try and make this quick. I was counting down, ironically, yesterday, 35 different places that I've had to save somebody. And I'm going to go with the most recent one.
Wait. What is the circumstance that on 35 separate occasions you were in position to save someone?
Shootings, car crashes, house fires, medical emergency. I'm just a citizen. I'm not like a firefighter or a policeman or anything like that.
How did you end up in all these crazy situations?
I just happened to be there, and nobody else would do anything.
Oh, wow. That's crazy, man. All right. Yeah, you're that guy, then.
Yeah, like this one guy, he said, turn him on his side, so then, do CPR. I said, no, turn him on his side because he can choke on his vomit. And sure enough, he was puking out, and like, I don't know. I'm always in that position. But the most recent one...
Do you live in a rough neighborhood?
I don't know. I'm in Tacoma.
Do you have a scanner attached to your head?
Are you a serial killer that wants to be a hero?
Yeah, right. I'm not a hero, and I'm not patting myself on the back. But this last one, the guy had a truck with a trailer, and he started fishtailing, and he was overcorrecting like a dumbass, and he barrel rolled down the freeway and caused a traffic jam. So I pulled out the collapsible baby, what do you call it? Where I could put my kid.
Stroller?
So
where I can put my kid.
Talking about a stroller?
No. A crib.
Oh, okay. Oh, like the playpen kind of crib thing.
You just happen to have a pack and play on you.
Yeah. So I put him in there, and I ran over there, and I said, I made sure the propane tank was off, and they had 3 kids, and they're all upside down. So I had to crawl like Die Hard through broken glass to pull these kids out, and I grabbed their little toys, and I made sure they were safe, and their very large parents were in the front, and I got the lady out who was driving, and the guy's leg was pinched, so this is the superhero part, I had to rip the door off with my bare hands, like break it off. I pulled him out, put him on the curb, and they were all safe and sound, and the paramedics came and wrapped me up. But we were right behind this traffic jam, like right behind him. So I was the first on arrival. And I was like, well, thank God, because like you guys were saying before, everyone was just standing around. Like, what do we do?
After 35 times, what's the percentage of time that you've gotten a thank you? Or somebody who came back and found out, who you were and just said, just wants to let you know everybody's okay or whatever?
4.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about the most. Usually the cops or the paramedics, they'll take care of the rest, the scraps. Everyone's discombobulated, and I'm just there with my thumb on my butt. Like, what? Okay, I did that. And so selfishly, it wasn't because, I wanted to save them, but I was in a fight with my girlfriend, and I wanted to get home. We were far away from home, and it's like, get this mess off the road so we can go home.
And that's what I spread, because of the weird silence in the car. This.
Please don't ever come to any of our events or anything. I don't want to be around you. I'm afraid something bad will happen. 35 times. That
seems like a lot.
That's an unlucky situation.
I mean, he's right. Look, a lot of people do stand around and watch. I remember my parents coming home from somewhere. I'm a teenager, and my father never talks about anything that most people would find extraordinary, or how was your day? And I don't know, like if your buddy got struck by lightning, like that's the first thing you'd say. Mm-hmm. Not my dad, though, but they come home and they're like in conversation about whatever, but he opens the front door. I remember he's wearing a yellow polo shirt, and it is covered in blood. And I'm like, oh my God. They just like, oh, no, don't worry, it's not mine. And like just walks away.
Don't worry, it's not mine.
So I look at my mother like, what happened? And same kind of thing. There'd been a bad car accident wherever the hell they were driving, and nobody really did anything. So he jumped out, got these people out, and I guess the woman that he finally got out of the car, she'd been cut up pretty bad from glass. So when he pulled her out, just getting her, like carried the bride position, as it were, all of her blood got on him. But this had happened maybe 30 minutes before I saw him, and whatever adrenaline he had, it had already gone away. It's just like, well, yeah, because when I asked him about it, he goes, well, yeah, she was in an accident. She needed help. I helped her. Looking at me like, what would you do? I'm like, maybe not that, dog. I'll be honest with you.
Arby's?
Jesus.
When were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello.
95,
bro. Hello, Jess. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I don't top that last story, but basically about 20 years ago, I was hanging out with some friends, and one of our buddies he was like the only one that had a vehicle, and it was some, dilapidated piece of S. But Well, he accidentally left the vehicle running with the keys in the ignition, didn't have a spare key, and all we had was like some skateboards, and so we busted out the corner. One of them busted out the corner window, the little teeny tiny window, which apparently is the most expensive window to replace on some old kind of car. I guess.
Are you serious? Because
we were like 16 years old or 15.
I'm saying I would not have known that either. I would think, all right, go for the smaller window, right? It's less glass.
How bad can it be? We went for the little itty bitty tiny window.
And that's the expensive one, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. No, but this isn't a vehicle that anybody would want to spend the money to put that window back in. But so basically, I had the smaller, longer reaching arm that was able to get in there. Well, I put my arm through to grab the keys out of the ignition and cut my arm. There's a little chunk of glass that was still in there, and it happened so quickly, and I was like, okay, this is not good. Well, thankfully, though, the fire department was kitty corner from the park that we were at, and we were able to walk over. I was able to walk over, and the fire department, the people that happened to be there, they were able to patch me up. So shout out to Renton Fire Department, and I just happened to be in the right place.
They were in the right place. Yeah. They were in the right place.
Did they say, hey, next time you lock your keys in a running car, why don't you just come to us first? Avoid all the broken glass. We could probably Slim Jim that bad boy open.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't think that there was any question about it. I mean, it was like 2 decades ago. It's hard to say, but I just, I'm so grateful for the fire department and the people out there like that, because, it could have been pretty bad, I guess.
Talking to my daughter 2 nights ago. She says, locked the keys in the car. I was like, what the hell did you do? Because it's a key fob thing. She's like, oh, God. Oh, I got a coat hanger and just pried the window open, got in there and unlocked it. I'm like, of course you did. Of course you did. You know what I mean? Like, I would have tried. I would not have been successful.
How long did she say it took her?
Once. She did not say. She did not.
That means she's good at it.
She did it. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, oh, yeah.
I did it once when I was 18. I don't think it's that hard.
It depends on the lock.
Now, granted, when I was 18, the cars were much different.
Because
it was pretty easy to kind of feel that.
Right. But sometimes the lock now is on the handle and not on, like it's a pull-up on the top.
Yeah.
So it depends. I could do the pull-up on the top. But
we could do that one.
I can't do the handle thing. So she navigated the handle thing. I'm like, that is really impressive.
She pointed out he didn't have an extra key. Do most people carry their extra car key on them?
No.
I was going to say, most people I know have an extra key to the car, but it's never on them. So if you lock your keys in the car and you're at Target, then you have to Uber back to your house to get the extra key that you never physically have on your person, right?
Sure. I've got
all right, let me ask you this, though. But whenever I rent a car, it's key fobs, and they're both on the same link. And I'm like, well, what's the point of this? If I lock one of them in here, they're both in here.
Right. Yeah. I got one of my neighbor's keys.
I'm dead serious. But you're not, Mike. I don't get that one at all. Just give me one pair. Why are you giving me 2 that are attached and I can't detach them?
Yeah. My next door neighbors, they had to get all their locks replaced because they lost their keys. So they got new keys and they got a new lock. Locksmith came over. First thing the guy did, my neighbor came over. He's like, here's a spare key to our house. I want you to hold on to this. Because there was 3 different roommates. They all lost their keys. 2 of them already lost when there was only 1 key remaining. They're kind of, doing their thing with it.
I have 3 sets in my house, 3 different friends.
But as soon as he got new keys, he's like, here, I want you to have this.
Do you just remember where you put his key?
Yeah, it's in the drawer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I forgot where I put it.
Mm-hmm. When were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time? 206-421-ROCK.
Like I said, I have 3 sets of keys for 3 separate friends for their places. And they go by the dry rubs, by the spices.
That's the natural place to put them.
Sure.
I don't know why they go in there, but there's a big thing of Old Bay, some dry rub for some poultry, and the keys.
And keys. Hello, Wes. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo, bitches.
Boo.
All right, so I was in Ted's favorite city for airports, St. Louis. I was with my sister for her 25th birthday. I had driven up, and I was going to take her to lunch, and then I was going to take her to a baseball game. So we scouted some tickets, got really good seats, 7 rows behind home dugout. And, I think it was the 7th or 8th inning. The Cardinals were playing the Diamondbacks at Busch Stadium. And the batter from the Diamondbacks hit the foul tip, and we were on the first base side, and it careens off this concrete. And all I hear my sister say is, where's that going? And it careens down off the top. It hits the concrete, and I just put my left hand out and just snatched it right before it hit her right in her nose.
Now, were you trying to save your sister, or were you really just trying to get the foul ball and you happened to save your sister?
Yeah, I know. See, to me, that's being in the right place at the right time. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. That's one of those cases where, like, look, did you remember who hit the ball?
I do. It was really famous. Like, he was like their top prospect for, I want to say it was like De La Cruz. I forget. I just remember his number was like 17.
What year was it?
It was the year they won the World Series. So this was 10 years ago in 2011.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've only seen that.
And then,
I've only seen that one time with somebody I knew. So that's cool.
I've never. My son asked. I think it was Monday. He asked. He said, "Hey, we're talking about baseball for something," and he goes, "Have you ever caught a foul ball?" I said, "No." He's like, "That's all I want to do." I believe his words were, "That's my dream." I'm like, "Dream big, bro." Mm-hmm. But I'm like, "No, I've never caught one." I'm like, the odds are that you're not going to, but for whatever reason, and even as an adult, you're like, "I really want a goddamn foul ball."
Right. We were. I was at a Pirate game. I was probably 21, 22 years old, somewhere in there. We got free tickets to the radio station. We're going to go watch some Pittsburgh Pirate baseball, right?
All right.
So it's like a Saturday day game or whatever. We go up to Pittsburgh, drive up there, and we're sitting pretty high up in the outfield. They weren't the worst seats in the world, but they were free radio station tickets at the time. They weren't the greatest seats. Now actually, when we give away tickets, we give away good seats. Then it was just like general admission, whatever the hell it was, right? I mean, like, we were way out there. So there's like a 2-hour rain delay. And we're like, hell with it. We don't have anything else to do. The radio station gave us food vouchers. They're still serving beer. So we just go down and we eat, we hang out. But slowly, Three Rivers at the time, people were just leaving. You know what I mean? They're like, the hell with it. It's almost 2 hours. Sure. It still looks dark and all this stuff. So the skies open up and, now we're drunk. But we moved on down to the outfield. But we were still like, there might have been, I don't know, maybe 20 people in the entire outfield.
Okay.
We put ourselves in right field. We just figured that we were above there. We're just going to come down right and sit there. Dude hits a home run. My buddy Brett jumps up, man, and it's still kind of lightly raining, and he's just a fast dude. He just sprints down. There's nobody in the aisles. Grabs the ball, holds it up, comes back, and now we're losing our mind. We're dancing. It's kind of raining.
Got the ball.
You know what I mean? It's awesome. You know what I mean? The Pirates hit a home run. This is great. Now we have a ball to take home, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, we go home until, and Brett shows everybody the ball. But they're like, yeah, you caught a home run ball. And like, you're right, yeah. And like, no, seriously, man. Brett caught the ball. He didn't catch it. Hit the Brett.
So you got it.
He just ran over and grabbed it, right? Whatever. So it was like a week later, and there was another rain delay on a game we were watching. And during the rain delays at the time, they would do a rerun of This Week in Baseball.
Oh, right, yeah.
Okay, and we also had found out that rerun was on ESPN SportsCenter, but none of us had seen it. Okay, so we didn't believe that. Like,
how about that?
Were you guys on the, you guys think you guys were on ESPN last night? Like, no way, really? Like, yeah, man, you guys were all dancing in the outfield. And I was like, it's got to be us, man. It's got to be us. We were the only group. Like, there was two people here, 2 people there, family here, but we were the only drunk group of guys, right? So This Week in Baseball comes on, and lo and behold, man, they're like, the fans are dancing in the rain in Pittsburgh. They started, and like, there we are, and I just like jumped up, like, we all lost our mind. We were like, that's us! It's true!
We're famous!
We got on TV! This is awesome!
Yeah.
It was absolutely fantastic.
See, that's you.
We were on cloud 9. You know what I mean? It was like, we made it to television. This is so cool.
But that's you. And then, Ted, you made it to ESPN. Was it ESPN? Hot dog?
Oh, yeah.
That was ESPN?
Well, I have to bring it up.
No, look, I've never been on ESPN. Mike, you've never been on ESPN. Now, Miles, you're on there celebrating good times, dancing in the rain.
Yeah, that was true if it was on. I never saw it. I just saw it on This Week in Baseball.
And then Ted kind of made it. Well, you made it to ESPN.
Right. It was a Sounders national televised game. Right, so the section I sit in, I've been sitting there since 2010. My buddies bought the tickets in 2009.
Right.
Sounders had just come up to MLS. It's a family section, and they weren't sure. So you got free hot dogs, nachos, and sodas.
All right.
So we're always having snacks the camera points to our section where everybody's doing a chant, and I'm just stuffing a hot dog down my face.
So that you can hurry up and join the chant, though.
Right, but I mean, my phone just starts blowing up. Like, hungry, Ted? Like, Ted, you're on TV eating hot dogs. Like, oh, my God.
Did they zoom in on you, or was you just that clear?
We've never been able to find the clip, and I didn't see it, but I think they had kind of
you've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
I've seen it like 3 times.
Maybe I have.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
you
but
weren't
it's
quite
just,
zoomed in, but you are more or less dead center of the frame.
Correct.
So there's a lot of people, and the reason you're easy to spot is because, like you said, they're breaking into whatever chant they're going to do.
It's the call and repeat. So the north end or south end of the end zone, the Brom end says Seattle. Then the north end we go Sounders.
But they put their hands up, right? So Ted is eating the hot dog, and then you can tell that Ted is timing out. When they're all going to throw their hands up and say Sounders. So it's probably about half the hot dog, I guess.
It's a decent portion of the dog's left.
Whole goddamn thing stuffed in his face, but then he gets his hands up. Right,
you got a hot dog in your mouth?
Yeah. You can't not see you. So it's not that they focused on him, but everyone watching be like, who is that guy?
Well, that's also
the handless hot dog eater.
That's also the genesis for Pocket Dog.
Right.
It's because we always got free hot dogs, so it was like a tradition. If you went to the bathroom, it was just like, let's say we're all sitting there. Okay. Throw goes to the bathroom. He's got to come back with 3 hot dogs. That was the limit you could get in our section. So, like, it was a thing. Every time you came back, you'd be like, I got 3 extra hot dogs. So Pocket Dog started that we had been there all day. Me and some friends went out that night. At a certain point, the Pocket Dog just got put in my pocket. Then later, it was left as a tip.
You left the hot dog as a tip?
Not as a tip.
Well, as a what?
I'd already paid, let's say, for a quick 2.5-minute performance. It may have just slid the hot dog onto a table as I left.
At a strip club.
You tipped a stripper a hot dog.
Well, I'd already paid for the performance.
You gave a hot dog to a stripper?
I left it as an option.
I thought it was just some random dude or something. It was a bartender. You left a stripper a hot dog. God damn. She still tells that story.
She does.
Right. Dude, one time, this guy gave me a hot dog.
That's why I don't like Sounders fans.
Oh, man.
They come in, they're all fired up. They're leaving hot dogs around.
Oh, Jesus.
I never even think to walk into a strip club with a hot dog in my pocket.
Oh, Miles, it was the same thing. Like, and then before you get to, as I said, a small performance, you're just like, empty your pockets. It's like, oh, I got this hot dog. I mean, what's weirder, leaving it or walking into an entertainment establishment?
I think the whole thing
with a hot dog in your pocket.
But there's no answer to that because you did both.
Did you have condiments?
No.
Just straight hot dog.
It was raw, dog.
Yeah, right.
When were you in the right or wrong place at the right or wrong time?
It was wrapped in foil.
206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.